Hey everybody, it's Jarrod Albrecht, the Yard Sale Artist, here with a little pop-up live stream, doing a little bonus episode, a little mail call, if you will. And man, I have got some exciting stuff in the mail. Let's see what it is. I hope everybody's having a great, what is this, Thursday evening? Yes. I actually received this package right here. Gosh, maybe a little over a week ago. I've just been that busy. I had the Toylanta toy and comic show this last weekend in Atlanta. That was a lot of fun. Thank you to everybody who came out, supported me, stopped by and said hello. That was great. But yeah, I've been off running around doing all these shows, and I haven't been able to open my package. It just came in. It is from Hounchin Binderies. And that's the bindery that my good friend Tim Benson uses over at Omaha Bound. Omaha Bound is a great service that Tim does. He works with Hounchin, and basically Tim helps get you really, really cool designs for your custom hardcovers. He does the design work on the covers, and one of the nicest things about Tim and his design work is that he kind of remembers you as a customer. You know, he starts doing work for you, and so he continues to make all your hardcover customs sort of look uniform. They all have their own individual flavor, but there's a certain uniformity to your collection. So he does a really good job at that. Very excited to open this up and see what we have inside. Let's see what's inside. All right, well, bubble wrap. Can never go wrong. All right, let's see what else. Lots of packaging paper. Okay, I got my first Hardbound. You know what? I'm going to move the box off of here so we have a little more room to look at the stuff. Just going to set it just off screen here. I'm going to grab the first item out of the box. And the first item in this sweet, sweet custom hardbound edition by Omaha Bound, my friend Tim Benson, is I now have a hardcover collection of the James Bond Jr. comics from Marvel. How cool is that? He even has down the spine 003.5. That's Tim, always thinking. There's the back. There's the front. I really like this sort of cool checkered look he did, featuring James Bond Jr., Jaws. Look at that. I mean, this is the best job. This one's got a black bookmark ribbon in it. As always, just a beautifully well done binding. This is by the good folks at Hounchin. Oh, I think this is a first. He included this neat little title page. I don't know if any of my other books from him have this neat little title page, but that is definitely very, very cool. Tim's a really creative guy like that. So it has a little title page in it, which again, I think that's a first for me. So yeah, it starts with issue 1. So I collected all these issues. You know, I found them here and there, dollar bins and whatnot. Some of them I had to chase down a little harder than others. And yeah, he just does a great job binding them. And when you do it, one of the options you have when you use Omaha Bound is if there's a back-to-back ad, you can have those removed. I don't do that though, even if it is a back-to-back ad. And I haven't found an example of one here yet. They all have content on them, but I still don't do that. I keep them all in there. And so, because I love the ads. And so what happens here is, you know, I collected the whole run, which was 12 issues of James Bond Jr. by Marvel. I sent it to my buddy Tim. He designs the cover, front, back, side, all that. Pretty sure he designed this title page, which is cool. Again, I think this might be the first time he's ever done that. He even picks out the color of the bookmark ribbon, and then he gets all that squared away, and then he gets bound at a place called Hounchin Binderies. And I can't remember where they are. They're out somewhere out west, I want to say. I'm looking at the little invoice, but it doesn't say on the invoice. I want to say it's out west somewhere. anyways, then they go through and they take in all the 12 issues I sent them, and they, I'm doing a little guessing here. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure they basically just kind of split them right up, cut them right up via the spine. I know they press them and trim them a little bit because, I found all these books, all these James Bond Juniors out in the wild, and they've had a rough life, some of them, and then you can tell that they've been pressed, professionally pressed. The pages just have a lot of crispness to them, smoothness. So they press them really well. I think they give them a little trim on the outside. Boom. Hardbound. Very, very cool. I got more in here. This is just the first one I pulled out. I'm very excited. Being such a huge James Bond fan, James Bond Jr., Hardbound, Omaha Bound, and Hounchin Binderies do it again. Let me get a sip of tea here. And I will open the next one. Let's see what the next one is. I'm not even looking. Just going in, grabbing, pulling a book out. Oh, my. Yes, good. All right. Once again, my friend Tim Benson does all the cover designs over at Omaha Bound. I have the complete run of Tomb Raider Journeys books. Notice that spine. That's going to come in handy in just a second. Yeah, so back in 2001-ish time frame, Tomb Raider started getting Lara Croft, and Tomb Raider also has a nice title page in it. I want to say hey to Matt Passo in the chat. He's stopping by to check out these new fancy hardcovers. Hey, Matt. Thanks for stopping by, saying hello. It always means a lot. We're looking at these hardcovers. If you missed it, Matt, I just did the James Bond Jr. Complete Marvel Collection, Hardbound, Omaha Bound, and Hounchin Binderies. Once again, doing me right. And now I'm looking at the Tomb Raider Journeys. I believe that was a 12 issue. Yep, 12 issues. And again, just a great job by Tim. I'm not doing the world's best job of showing you, but it is what you would imagine it to be. It is the issues, all 12 issues. Again, I'm pretty sure they press them and give them a little trim around the edges because the pages, I hunt these out in the wild. I find them in dollar bins. So they're not always the greatest condition, but by the time I get them back from them, they look wonderful because they do such a good job with the pressing and the trimming. So there is, look at that cool cover that he picked for the front. What a great, he does great selections because a lot of times he'll use the covers of the books I send them to find the images he wants to use. And again, the spine might not make a lot of sense now, but it's going to in a minute. Almost assure you. Let's grab another book. Oh, it's a heavy one. I bet I know what it is. Let's see here. Hang on. Oh, the fanciness is coming your way, folks. Actually, I'm going to need to go too. All right. So, not only did I send Tim the Tomb Raider Journeys. Hey, I want to say hey to Doc Strange in the chat. Thanks for stopping by to say hello. Matt asked the question, by the way, about Omaha Bound. And before I reveal my last two hardcover here, he asks, are they open to orders again? I think yes. I know they shut down for a little while. I think they got a little inundated, which I like to think is thanks to the Longbox Crusade, because for a couple of years there, Omaha Bound was the sponsor of the show. They were our show sponsor, which was really great, and we really enjoyed them. But it was almost like we did too good of a job. One day, Tim messaged me. He's like, man, I have to shut down my sponsorship because we just have too many projects right now. And I thought, well, I guess we did our job a little too well, and that's fine. So yeah, they did take a year or two off, but I think he's back in the swing of it. I know he's doing it for, preferred customers, but I think they're back into it. And if you need help getting in touch with Tim over at Omaha Bound, you can let me know. Or if you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, They are, I think I have it memorized. It's at Omabound, Omabound. I think that's Tim's X handle. So you can always check him out there. All right. I gave you the teaser. Of the Tomb Raider journeys, all 12 issues, and we saw the funky, weird back cover. So let's just finish that out. Here we have all 50 issues of Tomb Raider from Image Top Cow and Tomb Raider Journeys, and look what Tim did with the spines. Look at that. That is what you pay for when you use Omaha Bound. And you can always use, Matt mentions this in the chat, you can always use Hounchin. You can go direct to Hounchin and get your comic books bound. They're going to do that for you. The reason I choose to go through Omaha Bound, and of course it costs a little more, but this kind of stuff, Tim does the design work. He takes the time to make the coolest possible designs for you, but you're really paying him just a little extra for design work. I mean, look at, again, that's the cover he put together for Tomb Raider Journeys. How gorgeous is that? He goes right to the comics themselves. He scours them. He finds some of the best images, and just amazing. So let's look at these other 2 volumes of Tomb Raider that he sent me. You are limited to 25 issues per volume, and so that does come into play. That's why the Tomb Raider thing really took me 3 volumes, because Volume 1 is issues 1 through 25. Volume 2 is 26 through 50. And then my quote unquote Volume 3 is Journeys, which was a 12-issue spinoff. So yeah, he did. We're getting some good feedback on those spines in the chat. Matt says it's very nice. Bill Beer says looks incredible. Doc Strange says, wow, sweet. And I have to agree with all of you. Let's just look at those spines. Let's look at those spines one more time before I move on and take a detailed look at the last 2 volumes. Look at that. That's what you pay for. That is so freaking cool. I love Tim's vision. I love what he does. And yeah, one of the best things, I always show it off all the time on social media. In fact, if you go on my X feed within the last 2 weeks, someone sent there's a thing going around, share a shelf of your comics or your collection or whatever. And I always share the shelf with my full collection of the Marvel Gru. It actually is the full PC, because Gru started out at PC Comics and then went to Marvel. It's that whole run, and Tim did it's like 5 books, and Tim did a beautiful across the spine thing. It's incredible. So, all right, we've looked at the spines like 100 times now because they are gorgeous. Let's look at Volume 1. There's the cover he selected for my Volume 1, which is issues 1 through 25. Again, he provided a really cool title page. I love that. I don't think I've always had title pages in all the books I've gotten from him, but it's super cool. And then it kicks off right there with one of the covers of issue 1, and that's where he pulled the image to bring the spine. And just gorgeous, wonderful, smart, gorgeous work. And yeah, it's the first 25 issues of Top Cow Tomb Raider. There's the back cover. What an amazing choice, huh? How cool is that? And, this reminds me, he does take a little guidance. I try not to give him too much guidance because, being an artist myself, I know that you're going to get the best out of an artist if you give them sort of the mission statement, like, hey, I want to get these 3 volumes of Tomb Raider done, and I know you're going to do a great job. And then that's it. That's all I give him, because the less direction you give a creator or an artist, usually the more creative they will be and the better product you're going to receive. That's a tip to anybody out there who gets commissions and stuff. Give them the bare bones information and let the artist do what they're going to do. So the only guidance that I gave Tim, I didn't even tell him to make connecting spines. That was his idea, which was wonderful. The only guidance I gave him is if you go through these Tomb Raiders 1 through 50, there are a lot of different covers, obviously featuring Lara, and like Adam Hughes does some of the more harder to find and more valuable covers that come much later in the series, like the last 15 issues or so. And they're very, very sexy. It's Adam Hughes. He does very, very sexy things. So really the only guidance I gave him is I've always liked more Tomb Raider, the Adventurer, than sort of the sex icon Laura Croft. And so I said, go with more of an adventurer look on my books. I mean, it's hard for Laura Croft not to be gorgeous. I mean, she's always gorgeous, but I didn't necessarily need the sexiness of her, because just never really how I saw her. I've been a fan since the video game first one came out back in 96. I did a whole nostalgia talk around it on this very channel. So if you actually search our Longbox channel for Nostalgia Talk Tomb Raider, you'll hear me talk about it. And I've just always viewed her as a video game character, and not so much the sex icon that she became, because of the sort of the exterior marketing is really where that comes from. It doesn't really come from the games. It really comes from the exterior marketing. And I mean, I don't mind that she's sexy. And here's the cover of Volume 2, where of course she is. But I just like the more adventure side of Lara. That's just me. I mean, if you wanted to send these out, look, that's amazing. If you want to send these, that's the beauty of using Tim over at Omaha Bound. If you had the same set and you sent it to him, and you like, the Adam Hughes covers are gorgeous. If you like the sexier Laura, you can get that as your cover. I went the adventure route. That's just how I roll. That's how I see her. And there you have it. Okay, I think that's all from this order. I do have some more that I'm putting together for Tim, because once you start this hardbound habit, it's a slippery slope. You're never coming back. So this time around, I had 4 books done. I had my James Bond Jr., all 12 issues from Marvel done. And then, of course, I had all the Tomb Raiders done, starting with Volume 1. This is from the Top Cow series. Volume 2. Very nice. I can't wait to read these. And my quote-unquote Volume 3 is their spin-off series, the 12 issues, Tomb Raider Journeys. Let's look at those spines one more. Look at those spines. It's going to look so good on the bookshelf. It's going to look so good. And I couldn't be happier. And Pat Sampson checks in on the chat and just reminds everyone that I am very, very fancy. Thanks, Pat. Oh, man, this is an exciting day. Again, these have been sitting here for a couple of days now. Just so happy to finally get to them. Very, very, very cool. So, again, this is not a paid advertisement. I guess it kind of is, since Tim Benson and Omaha Bound were sponsors of our podcast for like a couple of years, but they're not sponsors anymore. So this is not a paid promotion. At one time, it might have been, but it's not. I just want to let everybody know they do a fantastic job. And by they, I mean Omaha Bound, which is basically Tim Benson, and he has a partner over there. But Tim is usually my direct contact who does this stuff for me. Again, if you want to check him out, he is on the X, the formerly Twitter. He is at Omabound, OMABOUND. I'm almost positive. That's off the top of my head, but I'm almost positive that's what it is. Good dude. He's been on our podcast network a couple times as a guest. Solid guy. We love him. And then he, in turn, once he gets all your design work done, ships it right over to Hounchin Binderies, where they do the physical pressing, trimming, binding, make it look real good. Basically, he sends them these little sheets where he fills out all the information on how he wants it done, and that's how they do it. And then they mail it to me. These are going to be joining my other fanciness up on my bookshelves. And I'm so very excited about it. I got some more comments about fanciness from Matt and my friend Aaron over at the G.I. Joe Real American Headcast. Thank you guys. Yeah, this has been really, really, really cool. Of course, there'll be another one of these videos coming down the line. Oh, I will say one final thing before I go. You do have to be a little patient. Custom binding. You can imagine Hounchin is custom binding, not just comics, but whatever people will need custom bound all throughout the country, maybe the world. So you do need to be a little patient with them. It's not something you're going to send off and get a couple weeks later. It's usually a few months. I'm wild stabbing it here, but 4 to 6 months is what it feels like. Maybe 7 months. Kind of that. Think of that as your window. Let's just say 6 to 8 months from the moment you send it all in to the day you get this magic package that comes in the mail, and you're just like, it's awesome. So that's kind of how the whole process works. And Doc Strange says he just followed both of Tim Benson's accounts, which is great. The Omaha Bound accounts. Very, very cool. And like, Matt says, it's a long process, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. I have plenty of other hardbound collections by these guys on my shelves that I still need to read. So yeah. Have I read through all 5 volumes of that Gru? No, it sits on my shelf. It looks gorgeous, and I haven't even started reading through it yet. So yeah, I need to kind of sit down, pull one of these off, and just read right through it. Last time I did that was with Further Adventures of Indiana Jones. I have that whole run hardbound as well, and I did go through and read all those. So I need to do that again. But I gotta tell you, I'm really feeling the call of these Tomb Raiders. I've really been in Tomb Raider lately because of the new re-release of the games. Just reignited my love for Tomb Raider. And if you want to know more about that, check out Nostalgia Talk Tomb Raider. Just search that here on the Longbox Crusade on YouTube, and you can hear my nostalgia talk all around Tomb Raider. All right, that is it. One last look, and I'll catch you guys. Look at that, so cool. So cool. I will catch you guys on another day. I guess I should plug quickly before I go. If you're feeling it, come check out the Crusaders Club. Several of the people in the comments are club members. Matt, who stopped by, is a club member. I think Doc Strange is a club member. So anyway, you go to patreon.com/longboxcrusade for as little as $1 a month. You can get access to early stuff. You get priority seating to be guests on shows. You get entered for raffles, all that good stuff. It's at the bottom of the screen, patreon.com/longboxcrusade. And of course, before you go, if you wouldn't mind giving us a like, the thumbs up and all that stuff. You guys in the chat have been great. Thank you for stopping by to chat with me. It always makes it more fun. I think I'm out. I think it's time to go read some comics, you guys. I will check you guys later. I will act frozen.